Burn builds have always been good, but they have never been a go-to DPS meta against big bosses. Boom Boom and Crank, I will always call it Crank, have always been fine, but really more of a safe bet for eventually killing a boss, not speedrunning it. And Dual Fury was a very niche monster in the right hands. Well, we have a new burn meta. GetBuck here, and today let's put together a Pyroclasm Starter build. Way of Winter is officially out, and besides the fact that it is fantastic so far, it brought along a lot of new things, including new weapons and new armor. Speaking of new weapons and new armor, let's get into a brand new build. Kicking things off with our weapon, and that is going to be the brand new ACS12 shotgun Pyroclasm Starter. Pyroclasm has a 27% chance to trigger burn on hit, a 20% chance to generate a deviant particle on hit, which can be picked up to enter charge state. While under charge state, upon reloading, replace all ammunition as Dragon's Breath ammo until the next reload. Dragon's Breath deals blaze damage equal to 85% attack upon reloading. Expend all charges to increase blaze damage by 10% until the next reload. Each charge stack expended further increases this by an additional 10% up to 4 stacks. Basically, you're going to want to shotgun barrel stuff enemies. They spit out orange orbs. You pick up orange orbs. They have a radius and they will travel to you if you're close enough. Then when you reload after picking up orbs, your bullets dish out massive burn damage. We will be modding our brand new shotgun with Burning Wrath Talents or Burning Wrath Burn. Triggering Burn has a 25% chance to grant +1 burn stacks. Your accessories for this weapon will be the Quick Flame Break. This is a brand new attachment, so I'm unsure on where to get it yet. You can use Extended Break for now. It won't make a giant difference. You will also want to use the Tactical Laser Sight. The goal here is to stack accuracy. Your weapon calibration print for Pyroclasm will be the Rapid Shot style print for burst DPS scenarios or the Heavy style print for longer damage windows and higher total damage. You will want double elemental damage on both of them. Now that our weapon is set up, let's get into our key armor piece, and that is going to be Fire Rune boots. Fire Runes are a new key armor piece that came out with Way of Winter and grant a 50% chance to generate a deviant particle when inflicting an enemy with burn damage. Picking up the orb increases blaze damage by 30% for 15 seconds. Moving on to our gear set, and that will be 4 pieces of the Shelterer gear set, as this is a status damage build. Shelterer gear set grants you 15% status damage reduction, 8% elemental damage. Each weapon hit grants 1 stack of deviant energy. Every stack of deviant energy grants 1% elemental damage. The effect can stack up to 20 times, and reloading cuts the stacks in half. And lastly, 4 pieces grants increased max deviant energy stack by 10 and grants 2 additional stacks when hitting a weak spot. With our 1 remaining armor slot, we will be using 1 piece of Renegade for a 10% increase to reload speed. You could also go for 1 piece of Lone Wolf if you're going the heavy style print route to really load up on mag size. Now that our armor is sorted, it's time to mod it, starting with the helmet, and that will be Deviation Expert Talents for plus 10% rate of fire, plus 20% status damage at the cost of minus 25% range. Your mass mod will be Blaze Amplifier Burn. Every stack of burn grants 3% psi intensity damage. Moving on to the gloves, and that will be Elemental Overload Talents for an 18% increase in elemental damage. Your shoes mod will be Covered Advanced Talents. Taking no damage for 4 seconds grants plus 20% melee, weapon, and status damage for 30 seconds. Your pants will be Precision Charge Talents for 10% weak spot hit rate of the previous magazine. Gain 4% elemental damage up to 24%, lasting for 10 seconds. And lastly, the chest will be the Blue Status Enhancement Mod Talents. Number 1 question I get is why a blue mod and where do I get it? The reason for blue chest mods is because every purple and gold chest mod only grants a damage reduction effect. None of them buff your damage output, so you want to use a blue mod. You can obtain blue chest mods in lower level phase 1 areas of the map. Now that the build is set up, let's go over a few items that can min-max your damage, like secondary weapons, substats on mods, food buffs, ammo choices, and deviations. Our secondary weapon will be the Bingo Sniper Rifle so that we can apply the bullseye effect on bosses, which will allow us to dish out more DPS. You will want to mod your Bingo with Bullseye Amplifier for plus 8% to vulnerability. The real juice behind builds that take them from good to insane will always be how you mod a build, and substats are equally as important. You may have noticed that you want the talents or the burn variants of all of your mods to crank out as much elemental damage as possible. Other stats to go for would be damage to great ones, weapon damage, and reload speed. Your deviation for this build will be the brand new burn deviation, Invincible Sun. Invincible Sun explodes every 3 seconds, dealing 50% blaze damage to nearby targets with a 15% chance of inflicting burn. Whenever an enemy is inflicted with burn, Invincible Sun gains 1 stack of burn. Each stack of burn increases the deviation's damage by 5%. The target hit takes 20% blaze damage. This thing is crazy for burn builds, and this is its stats at a level 1. I can't wait to see what a 5/5 can do. There is a new food specific to burn damage called the Flaming Egg Tart, which increases your burn damage by 10%, and you will want to stack this with the Whimsical Drink for an additional 25% status damage. As always, your best ammo option is going to be the Tungsten AP Shotgun ammo, and I will place the Cradle mod setup in the description of the video below. There are some really good burn ones this scenario. It's almost like they wanted us to use the new armor and weapons. I also want to add that this setup will fully get you through endgame of Way of Winter and hard mode and pro mode content, even though the clips in this video are normal mode enemies. At the time of making this, Way of Winter is in phase 1, and this is day 3 of the scenario, and we're already cooking this hard. I just wanted to mention that because I know someone is going to come in 4 weeks later when we're in phase 5 of Way of Winter and say, LOL, my damage is way better than this, not realizing I'm wearing tier 3 gear and I'm not even level 50 yet because we're in phase 1. If you like this video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up, subscribe, and turn those notifications on. See you next time.